diplomatic advisor of the president.
Thank you for your visit. Good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. Please join me.
Very impressive.
This is all composed. You can touch it. Yeah. It is example of this stoneworks.
And this is technique that was...
It was a technique from Florence.
Oh, I see.
It came from the... Dankeschön. On the highest level, I met said it was a good meeting and it helps to for their independence in the opportunity to get this process. And you know that there was a big meeting of the United Nations in Vienna on the development of landlocked developing countries. The General Secretary was here and several heads of state, and I am very happy that the President of Georgia also visited this conference, and this was an opportunity to invite him for a bilateral meeting. It was not our first meeting as such, but the first meeting here in Vienna, and we had a long conversation on questions of bilateral interest and of multilateral problems. First of all, I want to say that the relations between Georgia and Austria are very friendly and with great amount of mutual confidence. I'm satisfied about this development. We have the strong will to increase our trade and trade volume, export and imports. There are good chances for that. And thirdly, of course, we have a common interest in peace and stability in Europe. Austria, as a neutral country, can help a little bit to stabilize the political system in Europe. The President was interested on our history, on the fact that Austria was occupied after the war by 4 Allied powers, but we managed that we had free elections, totally free elections, and we managed the State Treaty when the Allied powers, Russians, Americans, British and French, left our country in 1955. And ever since, we are an independent country, a neutral country, and of course, '89 was also a crucial event because the Iron Curtain between East and West was passing the Austrian border, and the Austrian border to Czechia, to Slovakia, to Hungary, and to a certain extent to Yugoslavia, was a dangerous border, and it created a dead end in Europe. It created a border for politics, for culture, for economy. This was finished and ended in '89 and '90. We exchanged informations on the actual development in and around Georgia. The President may describe his positions and his approach to these problems. Our interest is to find peaceful solutions and to find solutions which bring us not nearer to military developments, but avoid any military conflict, because this is a fundamental conviction in Austrian policy that problems must be solved peaceful, and this is the only reasonable approach for solving problems. The President is very welcome in Vienna, and he was kind enough to invite me to a visit to Georgia the coming year. I accepted it with great happiness, and I told him what he couldn't believe, that my first and last visit to Tbilisi was exactly 50 years ago, 1964.
I want to thank our colleague and the generous host for wonderful visit in Vienna, which is very exciting for in-depth discussions on the issues concerning United Nations and the landlocked countries, and the wonderfully organized event here in Vienna. It was a great opportunity for us to have a bilateral meeting with a friendly nation with whom we see future prosperity, development and opportunities in Europe. I shared with the President the concerns that we have in regions in Georgia, in region of Abkhazia and Ossetia. We talked about the peaceful resolution opportunities that we are having in this region, and of course we are happy to deepen our bilateral relations and to further our relations with Austria, with whom we have a great opportunity, a whole venue of great opportunities in future. And I want to once more thank President and thank the Austrian side for wonderfully organized process on bilateral and international formats here in Vienna.